Raheem Morris gets passed over for the Colts head coaching job, but does he have a job waiting for him back in LA? Patrick Beverley spills on the Lakers, but what he spills, I have no idea. And we might have a reason why Jakob Chychrun has not been traded to the Kings yet. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. It is February 15th, 2023. I'm still in Portland, Oregon. We're having some internet issues, so I'm trying to record super early to make sure it doesn't arrive in the afternoon. Yikes. But whatever. Let's talk LA sports. If you like the content that we put out, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And sure, comment. Specifically, hey James, are you enjoying being up at 5 in the morning? Before we go through the news and notes, quick look at the scoreboard. Last night, Kawhi Leonard scores 33 points. Clippers, they sink Golden State 134 to 124. Tonight, LeBron James has missed the last 3 games, but he should be available tonight when the Lakers play New Orleans at 7 o'clock. So, let's get to the news. Shane Steichen, formerly of the not quite champion Philadelphia Eagles, he was named the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts yesterday, which means that the Colts passed on Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris despite the multiple interviews, so they allegedly liked him. But we haven't necessarily heard for certain that Morris is officially back with the Rams. Now, if you go online, there are 3 reports claiming that that Morris is back. Those stories do not have any sourcing to it. No, it doesn't credit anybody with saying Raheem Morris is back. It just basically is their opinion, the writer's opinion that he's coming back. No sources, 0. Now, to be clear, I like Raheem Morris, and I do think that he will be back with the Rams. But let's repeat. There is a case that can be made that Raheem Morris does not have a job waiting for him back in LA. How do we know? Well, for one, Sean McVay told his assistant coaches, all of them, that it might be a good idea for them to start looking for another job because he didn't know if he was coming back with the Rams. And when McVay did come back with the Rams, they fired 5 assistant coaches. 2 of the coaches had a feeling they would be fired, and they left to find other jobs before McVay fired them as well. Number 2, we don't know the terms of Raheem Morris's contract with the Rams in the first place. I've gone to multiple news outlets. I've looked through Rams records. I have no idea how long Raheem Morris's contract is. Was his contract up in the first place? We don't know that either. Number 3, as we were talking about yesterday, the Rams defense in terms of points allowed were 21st in the league last year. That is significantly below average. Now, you could say that a good chunk of the reason for that was because Aaron Donald missed a big part of the year. Fair. But is it possible that since Sean McVay is looking for new blood up and down the coaching staff, could Raheem Morris not be new enough blood? We don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler said some in the NFL, quote, wonder if the Rams will part with cornerback Jalen Ramsey, unquote. The rationale being is that currently the Rams are $15 million over the salary cap. Ramsey makes $25 million. Let me say why this is a pipe dream. If they cut Jalen Ramsey after June 1st, and a lot of players do get cut after June 1st, the most the Rams can save is $4.5 million. So if you're $15 million over the cap, $4.5 million doesn't do squat. Doesn't solve any problems. Diddly poo is what it solves. Meanwhile, Pro Football Focus, or PIF, notes that Ramsey is the league's best run defender. Quote, no player was as good in that area as Ramsey from his unusual role in the Rams defense, unquote. Now, if you are a Rams fan, as I am, and you're looking for a one-shot solution that could give the Rams sufficient salary cap space, if LA cuts defensive rusher Leonard Floyd, that's $15.5 million right there. So, just saying, I'm not looking to see Jalen Ramsey in another uniform anytime soon. So Patrick Beverley spills on the Lakers on his own podcast, I might add, because, hey, everybody has a podcast, wouldn't you say? His thesis about his time there was, quote, "It wasn't basketball, it was other shh." And I don't like cussing, so I think you pretty much know what I mean when I say it was other shh. It wasn't basketball, it was other shh. But other shh that you can't like pin or point out, comes and goes. A little bit here, a little bit there, unquote. No, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, Patrick. I really don't. That doesn't clear anything up. And I like Patrick Beverley. But that, to say, oh, it's a little bit here, a little bit there, that, the way he sounded on his podcast, it made him sound like he was the uncle who dropped way too much acid at Woodstock. I'm just saying, bro, we just couldn't, we just lost to Phoenix, man. We were just tripping balls, dude. I mean, that's what Patrick Beverley kind of sounded like on the podcast, is what I'm getting at. So no, I don't understand why it didn't really work out with the Lakers. Maybe it's because he couldn't shoot. General Manager Rob Pelinka said he will not commit to signing another player to the Lakers in the buyout market. Quote, "We feel like those 14 players fill a need that Darvin Ham was looking to fill, and he was excited about this 26 games we have to coach those 14 guys," unquote. Well, I hope he starts coaching quickly because the clock is a-ticking. NHL columnist Elliot Friedman said there is a snag in a possible Jakob Chychrun trade from Phoenix to LA. Now, to recap what's been going on, Chychrun was a healthy scratch from 2 games so far with the Coyotes, and the Coyotes specifically said it was trade. The reasons were trade related. In other words, they think they're sending him out. They want to make sure he's healthy. The rumor mill started to kick in high gear. Multiple teams that would have wanted Chychrun said it wasn't him, or wasn't their team that was this close to making a trade. Everybody assumes it's the Kings. The Kings are playing coy. So here is the snag, according to Friedman, that it is the Kings, that there's a bunch of players in this trade to make it work, prospects and whatnot, but they can't make the contract of a particular player fit under the salary cap. So because they can't make that particular player fit yet under the salary cap, that's what means it is not close. If I were to guess, it's more the Kings' problem than the Coyotes. The Kings are the team that's up against the salary cap. Players coming in would have to fit with the Kings' finances. Now, Edmonton is lurking. The Oilers would absolutely love to have Jakob Chychrun in their roster. The problem is that the Oilers' salary cap issues are even worse than the LA Kings. So bad, in fact, that the same columnist is suggesting a third team would have to be able to get involved to try to make the assets that are going around all fit under the NHL salary cap. Galaxy striker Chicharito Hernandez was pulled from an exhibition match over the weekend in Portland. He said he felt something in one of his hamstrings. We don't know how bad the leg is injured. The Galaxy, unfortunately, have a tremendous history under Chris Klein of not being transparent. Also, although he is not officially signed with the LA Galaxy, former U.S. men's national team striker Tyler Boyd took part in the match as well. I said striker, he's actually more of an attacker as a winger. Winger, that actually is kind of helpful to the Galaxy because they got rid of 2 wingers during the offseason. Now, there's been talk the Galaxy might have to use different formations depending on what happens, whether or not they do sign Tyler Boyd, because they simply don't have the personnel to fit the formation that Greg Vanney would prefer to use. Thank you again, Chris Klein. Hashtag Klein out. I want to give a disclaimer before this next Galaxy note. I do not trust the foreign soccer press, but FC Barcelona director of football, Mathieu Albani, said Galaxy fullback Julian Araujo will join the club. They just have to find a way that FIFA will accept. And I bring this up not because I believe Julian Araujo is so close to leaving for Barcelona, but because Alamany, in his quotes, sounded like all those desperately horny single people on social media yesterday for Valentine's Day. Alamany was pining for this guy, pining for Julian Araujo. You know, oh, I don't want to be alone. Julian Araujo will be ours. That kind of quote. It's kind of weird. And I'm sitting there reading this guy's quotes, and I'm sitting there like, what are you, dude? A director for a soccer superpower? Or are you Whitney Houston pining for Kevin Costner? Chill your jets. He's just a guy like everybody else. Long Beach Poly wide receiver Jason Robinson, class of 2024, has decommitted from USC. He committed to the school as a sophomore. Now he says he wants to play the field to make sure that he's making the right choice. For example, he talked with Colorado coach Deion Sanders, enjoyed that a lot. That might be one of the reasons why he's decommitting. Now, to their credit, USC, unlike FC Barcelona, told that kid they ain't waiting for him. Good job, Trojans. And I mean that. Because why? You're a kid, dude. And we're USC. That's what they're basically telling him. There might not be a spot. There might not be a scholarship waiting for him, they told him, if he waits too long. And I really appreciate that. They basically looked at the kid and said, who do you think we are? FC Barcelona? I'm good with that. I really am. Trojan senior offensive analyst Will Herringer is going to take a similar gig with the Dallas Cowboys. And by the way, final note for the USC football program. Do you remember how gruesome that the 2020 recruiting class was? Butt naked last in the Pac-12. Not just terrible in the nation, but butt naked last in the Pac-12. So bad it made Chip Kelly look like Urban Meyer. Yeah. Only one player from that class is going to be starting this year that we know of. That would be guard Jonah Monheim. So thank you, Clay Helton. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your new gig over at Middle Tennessee Junior College. The Chargers have hired quarterback coach Doug Nussmeier from the Dallas Cowboys. Nussmeier coached Dak Prescott for 3 years. He also worked with Cooper Rush when Prescott was injured last year. So this might be a pretty damn good hire by the Chargers. Mark Stein, formerly of ESPN, said incoming Clippers guard Bones Hyland basically diva'd his way out of the Denver Nuggets situation. The last straw allegedly came when Hyland left the bench during a game in Oklahoma City in January. Now, to be fair, the Nuggets weren't exactly mature about the whole thing either. As a punishment for walking off the court, they made Hyland fly commercial to the next game. They didn't even have him part of the charter. Even worse, it was Frontier. Actually, I don't know about that part, but look, there was a whole bunch of issues allegedly between Hyland and Nuggets players. There was allegedly beef between him and Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is a star. Jamal Murray is going to win that contest every day of the week. I don't know if Hyland is that type of dude. I mean, I don't know how much I trust Mark Stein's reporting anymore. But I'm just basically making sure that you have a full picture on Bones Hyland. Because yesterday, we were talking about how excited he was to go to LA. Maybe he's a good dude, maybe he's not. We're all complicated that way. Jaime Jaquez Jr. was named Player of the Week in the Pac-12 Conference for UCLA basketball. Amari Bailey was the conference Freshman Player of the Week. And I bring that up because, after all, the Bruins had a terrific week last week. They won 2 road games in Oregon. They jumped from 7th to 4th in the national top 25 rankings. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Let me know if you think Raheem Morris has a gig waiting for him. Let me know if you think Patrick Beverley makes any sense whatsoever. And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We talk LA sports every day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Faithful Angelenos is a Quién Corte El Queso production. Take care.